Good evening and happy Halloween, everybody. I hope you all had a great day trick-or-treating and doing whatever, handing out candy. But the market didn't have a great day. It was pretty bloody. I'm not gonna lie. Big Tech and Mag 7 just were red. Even Apple beat their earnings. I mean, weren't bad at all, higher than expected, and just pulled back. But I think we might see a rebound. So we're gonna go through everything as always and see what's going on today. Here we go. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice, so always do your due diligence. And like I said, I hope you guys all had a great day Halloween today. And some of you are probably still out trick-or-treating. I just kind of got in, to be honest. So here we go. Let's rock and roll and see what's going on. We'll start off with Maxon because that was up today, 59 cents higher, and it ran from 861 to 1012 today and pulled back. Its low was 798 and it closed at 923. And let me just see how it looks at the close and still looks pretty solid right there. MAXN. So we will keep an eye on that. And again, the split and this one just stayed up on the 20 and kept on running up as we watched it. So there you go, doing what we wanted it to. And that is Maxon. And Eileen likes that one. She was in it and still in it. And boom. And it's over to 50. And like I said, look for it to try to go up, but definitely be locking in profits. That high the other day was what 11.19. I think it got up a little higher, but it is trying to push up higher than that. So let's see what it can do tomorrow on a Friday. But again, over the weekend, you got to be careful. And especially an election coming up. I mean, just think about it, tomorrow and basically Monday and then Tuesday is the election. So you only have like 2, 3 trading days before we find out who's going to be a new president and run the country, or yeah, who's going to be a new president. That's for sure. There's definitely going to be somebody new, and so yeah, it's coming right down to the wire right there. But here we go, SXM. Let's see what that. Wait, where'd it go? I didn't even write it in right. SXM, right? SMX. Yeah, SMX. I wrote that one wrong. I'm sorry. I definitely wrote it wrong. It's supposed to be SMX. And that one yesterday was looking much better. It's down here in the basement, just kind of pulling back there. I think we have that bottom down there. It's at 38 cents, and it is SMX. It is that security company. And again, it's just flat at the bottom right there, but it took a big old dip, and we're watching this bad boy to get set up. So I'll keep my eye on that one. WINT did pull back 3 more cents today, and it's just running flat right there. So it keeps pulling away further from the 20. It's the 20's at 84, and this is back at 69.70 cents. So, like I said, if it didn't bounce today or by tomorrow, I'm not sure it's gonna. I mean, it's in a good spot there, but it just doesn't seem to want to, and probably needs that 20 to carry it up. And it was right there back on the 28th, just a couple days ago. And then these last 3 days, it just kind of dipped down. So WINT just pulling back. TOVX. Let's look at that. It was down 2 cents and then popped up, I believe, in the after hours. We've been looking at this bad boy, and it's been looking good. I know every day I've been saying it, and boom, there today, 149 to 208, and it's sitting at 202. So it did finally pop up in the after hours. So there's your TOVX. SYRS, they had their earnings. And I'm not sure what it did again. I don't always look. It looks green to me. When I click on FinViz, it's either green or red, and this one's green. And the chart is just kind of flat, but not looking bad. It was setting up really nice up here. Let me look and see in the after hours if it looks any better. It does look a little bit better now in the after hours. I think they had their earnings this morning. I'm not definitely sure though if they were at 8:30 or if they were after the market. But let's see. It's 251 to 262 and it's at 258. So it is sitting right there and it's trying to make a base. Maybe it does get popped up there tomorrow. I mean, it's right there. So we'll take a look at that one. AUST. That Austin Gold Corp was down a little bit today, but again, that one ran way up. I was saying, look for it to pull back here, see if it gets back into like the lower twos, and then we'll try to run that one back up because it looks like the gold and things are going to be pretty good for a little bit. So we will keep an eye on them. LGMK, Logic Mark, down 2 cents today, just kind of pulled back down to that 20, but the 20 went curling down today. It was curled up and now it's down. So I'm gonna have to look at LGMK, and they've been changing really fast lately. I'm not gonna lie, it's like real fast. Snap of a finger, they go from looking great to pulling back hard. So this one was running up, got through to 20 yesterday, 13 to 15, and just couldn't keep that momentum and pulled back today. So we'll have to see if it wants to just trade in between this channel right here of that 10 cent and up here. Didn't quite get up to that 14 yet, but it could be between that 20 and 50. So I'll look at that one tomorrow and see if it wants to do that. VCIG, and also they could just be running around a little weird until next week after the election. So I'll keep my eye on them. I was looking at them today, but there was really not a whole lot going on. So there wasn't really to really post about, to be honest. I was just kind of doing work and looking at stuff and checking out some good prices to buy. That's about what I was doing. VCIG did pull back a little bit today too, and it did look good yesterday. Again, the 20 is not too far off at 10 cents. This is at 8. Pull back, like I said, a little bit, but not like a penny, but a little bit can be 10% on this thing. So we'll see if it wants to bounce back up tomorrow. I almost have a feeling they're going to try to, but we'll figure that out when we go through all the big caps, the Mag 7 and the SPY and all that. We'll see how that looks to pull them all back around. NDRA, that was down 3 cents today, and that one looks like it's getting ready to try to bounce back up. So it looks like you might have had a lot of dip opportunities today, and I guess we'll be able to figure it out tomorrow if they're really pulling back or if they're just dip and rip situations. So right before the election, and again, they are really hard looks. Like NDRA is setting up where that 20 and 50 are meeting up, and this one just pulled back today. So, and like I've been telling you, they've all had these weird looks. So they're very hard to judge, and as you can tell, they're pulling back crazy. They're doing, I mean, the ones that basically look like they wanted to go up, pulled back, and the ones that look like they wanted to go down, they went up today. So a complete like reversal of what should happen, and it was odd, but it is what it is, and that's why we roll through the market and see what's going on. COOT, this came back down 6 cents. It was trying to get running, and then that just changed directions today. So a lot of them actually did change directions. And like I said, this one was moving yesterday. 75 to 84 looked perfect. And then today's 79 to 83, and then came back to 75. I thought it was a little lower, but maybe it is just, no, it is just right there. So it wasn't too bad, but it did jump around, and but it pulled back on the chart where it was popping up there, and then it came back to the line. And like I'm saying, if it doesn't bounce tomorrow and they get under, next week could be a really weird week with the election. So we'll see what's going on as we get to the bigger ones, obviously. So BTCT, that one was dipping a little bit. I mean, most of them were probably dipping today, let's face it. So we'll just say it was pulling back with the rest of the market. But again, it touched the top up there. And I think this one's going to come down to the MACD and try to set back up. So we'll have to keep an eye. And they're all just kind of right in the same spot almost. I mean, not the exact same chart setups, but popping up, coming down the lines and looking better, or going to look worse, but they're right there seesawing where you can't exactly tell. So let's look at S stop, because this one actually looks like it wants to run up. It's been making that base down there. It ran up not long ago, but it is looking pretty good. SDOT. So I would keep my eye on this one tomorrow, because that one could be a runner right there. SDOT. And it did run 257 to 315 today, and it's back to 276, but it's looking pretty decent right there. So keep your eye on SDOT and CNET. That was up in the after hours. It did pull back today and almost crossed back down. I have to see what this did, because I noticed it on the stock twits, but did not really see the chart. And this one, 220 on here, and then mine says it's only at 179. Now I have to look at stock. Hold on a second, real quick. CNET. I know I just saw it, so I have to see what stock twits says, because I swore it was up, but maybe I'm crazy. Yeah, says it's up 209. It says right there. And here it says 179 on mine, and this says 220. I'm telling you, is it not the craziest thing? I can't even get an accurate look. I thought I saw it going up on StockTwits, so I didn't look at the chart though. But I have to look at it because I can't really tell what the heck's going on because none of these are really set up the right way. So we're gonna have to look at that. Let me put a little mark because I definitely want to see it. I was kind of excited because I thought that was going to try to get moving. It was like all over the place like the rest of them today, but that one's been trying to get set up. So I'll have to look at that. HLVX, another one was looking great, curled up and just took a big old pullback today. So I this one may actually dip down harder, HLVX. And let me see. All right, I might try to bounce back again. They're just so hard to see right now, especially these penny ones are extremely tough. They're all over the place. APDN, let me see that one. So yeah, HLVX is hard to tell. APDN got pushed down. You can see the 20 just kind of pushed it right down. And here's CNET's 15-minute chart. Thank you. Laptop travel right there. Let me take a look at it. Yeah, like ran up there, right there, and it did get up. So it's just hard to see if it's going to continue that momentum tomorrow or if it wants to actually kind of pull back. So I'll have to look at it. And then what did SYRS do? Cyrus Pharmaceuticals GA, their EPS of minus 16 cents beats by 52, and they're promising breakthrough with something in a high risk MDS, so some kind of medicine or something. So there you go, right there. And yeah, that SYRS is looking good. That's that company that I was saying like had the insider buy-in and looked crazy. So that one does look good. S or APDN, just flat right there. It looks like it wants to come rolling out of the basement. So again, I let me look at it on mine. And I think this one's going to try to roll up. So keep your eye on APN or APDN. I mean APDN because that one is looking pretty good right there. And like I said, SDOT looks pretty set up for tomorrow, looking good. AUUD, another one that was looking pretty good and then pulled back today. So now it's hitting that line. Is it going to bounce tomorrow? It's really hard to tell. I'll look on mine and it's hitting the line and it could go either which way. Honestly, it looks like that would be the bottom to me. So I think they're going to reverse tomorrow, is what I think. But again, that's just an opinion and not exactly what the charts are telling me. I'm just getting a kind of a read and a feel for what I think it's going to do. But it is a very hard look. But again, this one looks like it's probably wanted to be the bottom, but there still is a little bit of room there, and it could cross through that MACD. So they're all very tough to tell. ITRM, remember I was saying, I think this one is trying to get back, moving back up again. I think it is. I think it's trying to make that base. We'll see what it wants to do. It was right around like 130. It opened and then it closed at 129. So it's like right there or vice versa. I'm not even sure, but we'll see if it wants to get rolled back up. And then this one can get moving, ITRM. And they recently had good news. ZCAR up 10 cents right here. And I'm telling you, this thing is getting set up right now. I mean, it's just bouncing around all over the place. So let's look and see where the bottom is. What was the bottom here? 550. That's probably going to be your bottom right there. I don't see it getting back down there. So 550 on October 28th. And just watch for down there. It's at 607 right now. Could be 614. Again, every single one looks different. I have no idea. I've never seen them all be different like this ever. Like even election time or anything. It's bizarre that they're like kind of like this different. But Z car is setting up. It's making that fish hook, and it looks like it's crawling off the bottom. So let's keep an eye on that because that looks like it wants to move. U car, that one's been moving up, and I think this one wants to run up in the top. It got up only 16 cents. It went from like 798 to 809 today, and then it pulled back in the after hours to 764. Let me just see how it looks. And on here it says it's still at 809. So I'm not sure before. Remember, mine was accurate as can be on the after hours, and now it's like Finviz seems to know what was going on. I have no clue what's happening. So It's just we'll roll with it and I'll look at it, but at the moment at 809 it looks great. At 764 would be right about that spot right there, and it still wouldn't even look bad. So we'll have to see where it opens up tomorrow and what it's up to. And that's UCAR, EJH. And this one was just riding the bottom. I wanted to see if this wants to get in the basement. And it's that could be the bottom today. I mean, yesterday, weird looks, and I remember saying it, a lot of them have a lot of weird looks. The 20s at like 95. This is at 90, so it could easily turn back around and catch up with it. So it almost looks like the bottoms were today, but I can't guarantee it. So we'll have to obviously see it tomorrow when they open, and we'll be looking at it at 7 a.m. WTO. Let's see this one also. Another one bounced around 42 and a half to almost 44 cents, and it's at about 43 and a half. And this one looks like it wants to get rolling, WTO. So we'll keep an eye on both of them, EJH and WTO, because they both look pretty decent right there. And our yin and our yang, the yin was down some more today. And let's see, I mean, that 20's curling down on it now. I mean, it's way over it, but it's curling down and it looks like it wants to try to push it. If it pushes it down to that 30.88 and it gets under that 50, this thing's really going to fall down there. And obviously that yang will start moving. But let me see what the yin look like in my on mine and just kind of stair stepping down. Let me look at the yang now and see what that looks like. YANG. And that was up today. It ran around a little bit, what, 368 to 381, and now it's at 370. And let me just get a better look at it on mine. But yeah, it is curling up right there. And just a little flap but trying to curl up. And yeah, it's again they stuck them both right, but I mean this thing is curling up right there, hardcore, and the other one's curling down pretty hardcore. So I'm gonna say the yang is gonna continue its way up and the yin's going to continue its way down. And that's what we should see. So maybe they pull back or, jump around a little bit. But I think in the next few weeks, you're going to see them really moving, or in the next week or two, even. So keep your eye on that yin and the yang. So we'll watch out for them. WBA is Walgreens, and it actually was up today. I was surprised. It was everything else was red, and Walgreens wanted to try to stay up there, but maybe it's trying to build a base right here. And we were talking about it. I thought it wanted to pull back under that 50, but it kept itself between the 50 and the 20 right now. So maybe we will see. And I did say it wanted to bounce up one more time. I'm surprised it didn't before, and then started pulling back. I would watch Walgreens tomorrow to try to bounce back up to like the 10s, maybe even like the 1030, 1020, 1030 area. So watch Walgreens to try to pop up. That's WBA. And like I said, it did want to pop up and then it's going to hit that line, come back down, and I'm telling you the company is not in good shape. So there you go for that. And let me see. Oh, Walgreens to lay off over 250 people, they said today. That's not even anything that crazy. But anyway, the company's not in good shape. I'm telling you, but you're gonna get a little pop off of it, and it looks like it could run tomorrow, but it's not gonna last. So that's WBA. And Holo, HOLO, that was that. I mean, we know it's going down. Just a matter if it did hit the bottom. And again, this could be the bottom where they try to start bouncing. So we'll look and see if it tries to bounce up right there. Holo, HOLO. And I said we'd take it up one more time and then probably bounce it off the list because I mean, how many more times can we trade that thing and execute it? That textbook, we might as well execute better ones. So that's Holo, but yeah, we watch it. It's a good exercise though, because we know exactly what it's going to do all the time. But yeah, Holo should get a little bounce unless it's going to unless it wants to go into the basement. But I don't think it does. I think these are bottoms right here, and they want to bounce back. And again, we'll be able to see it a little bit better, I think, as we get into the bigger ones. SXTC, let's look at that bad boy. It was pulling back another one. It's just set up perfectly. See if it wants to pull back a little more into the lower 50s. And then this one will try to get bouncing back up. So what a touchdown to today. It opened at almost 54, right? Yeah. No, like 59.5934. and then that was its high, and then it came down to 0.5480. So nothing real crazy, and then it closed at 55. So that's where it pulled back at. And then it went up to 56 and a half. And let me look on mine, SXTC. And yeah, that one's just pulling back. But again, we're watching to see if it wants to pull back into the lower 50s, and then it's going to want to bounce back up the SXTC. Let's look at that LSB. It was down another 25 cents today. And I'm telling you, this thing was curling up, ready to get rolling. And it's just sitting there. And it came down to the bottom and hit down. I have a feeling that that almost looks like the bottom, too, as it hits right there. So keep an eye. It bounced up like 19 cents in the after hours. I have to look at this on mine. And yeah, it almost looks like that's going to be your bottom right there. I could be completely wrong, but they do look like they kind of want to bounce off tomorrow. So let's look for that one to try to bounce as well. And I'm not sure if it's going to continue that bounce play into next week, but they look like they came down where they could easily bounce back up to tomorrow. Being a Friday, SNOA, and then again the weekend into an election, you have no idea. So SNOA, this thing looked great until about today. And then it dipped down pretty good. It opened at 281, came down to 268, and that's where it is right now. And we'll have to see. This one's probably going to pull back right there and hit that bottom as well and bounce back up. So we'll watch for that. And yeah, they all took a really nice dip for a rip situation, is what it looks like. Silo, SILO. This was looking good. Had a weird look. Is that today? It had even a weird look, real weird look today. Holy cow. Well, it opened and closed at 113, but it ran up to 120 and got down to 105. So when you see that look in between the 50 and 20 like that, you're like, what is going on there? I have to see this thing on mine. Silo. I mean, wow, what a look on that. Is it going to bounce? Is it coming back down? It looks like it wants to curl back up. I mean, if the 50 and 20 are meeting, that should shoot it off. This is the RSI is rolling up, and the MACD is crashing down hard on that line. And I think you're going to see a little bounce play right there, is what it looks like. So, again, we have to look at that one in the morning, see what it wants to do, that silo. But yeah, I think that one wants to try to bounce. Let's look at TTOO. Down 7 cents in the basement, curling back down. I got a lot of these just took nice dips today. And this 20's back up there at like 136. It just keeps pulling away. It was right there on it on the 23rd. And now it's pulling back even further. So let's keep an eye on that. I was started to look at it the other day and it's just been pulling back. So let's see if it's the bottom real soon and we'll catch that one. If not, we won't worry about it. GIFT is gifty, I guess it's called. And I know we were looking at it, ran up the other day, and then it kind of pulled back, but not really. And right now it's just sitting under that 20. And this one is looking good still. I'm telling you, check out GIFT. I still think it's going to be a gift. So just keep an eye on that thing. All it has to do is get back up over that 158 area, and it can get moving again. So that 20 can crawl back up and get cruising with it. And that is your GIFT gift and ALLO. That was looking pretty good yesterday until today. And then that was trying to cross through and hit that line and bounce down. So it might have to pull back just a little bit more and get set back up. We'll have to see. Or maybe it tries to bounce back up tomorrow. Another really hard one to see, especially after that bounce. And then where it's sitting right there, it could bounce right back up. So we'll have to keep an eye on ALLO. And let's look at that CDIO because I think this was going up today a little more. It sure was up 2 cents. It ran up higher on the 28th the other day. It got up to that 33 cents. But today it ran up to 30 cents from 25, and it is curling up. It's looking really good. I think CDIO is going to be a runner tomorrow as well. So keep your eye on that one to go up tomorrow. Just like that S dot. So there's two of them right there that are looking especially good. And yeah, we'll go through the list and see what really looks good. But CDIO looking decent for tomorrow to run. CJET down a penny. And just, oh man, this one's trying to set up to get rolling as well. This one may take off like a jet. You may see this jet try to bounce. So let's see. It pulled back a little bit in the after hours, 217 to 222, and then it came back to 214. Looks way better. Oh, no, it's on 214 here, but still looks good. I'm telling you. I would watch C-Jet. That one definitely could get moving right there. It looks really good. And that is C-Jet. So we're going to look at that one right there. And HAO, we've been looking at this one. We were looking at it before it started to run up the other day. And this one I think is getting to be staying in a good spot as well. HAO. So keep your eye on it. It ran up yesterday, 21 to 35, and then today it's 20 to 22. It's low as 18. It's at 20 again, but that 20 is under it and it wants to try to get out of the basement. So HAO not looking too bad right there. And LGHL, the Lion. Let's see. I mean, I thought that was going to run today until they opened up the way they did, but stayed up on top of the MACD, just bouncing down, and still looks really good to me. LGHL. So yeah, it's just buried in the line right now. I could see this popping up tomorrow. Again, just came back with everything else today. So I thought that one wanted to run today. And obviously the market conditions didn't want it to. So I guess the Lion's going to have to try to hunt for tomorrow and see if it can get moving again. So there's LGHL and OCGN. Let's see. That was down 6 cents. I mean, you want to talk about one that looked perfect yesterday and then just came pulling back pretty good today. So let me see it on mine, what it did. And yeah, that thing looked great, just pulling back. I think this thing's getting set back up. And it started out down here on the 25th at about 90 cents. And then today it came down to like 90. It came back down to 90 cents today. So is it them dipping rips? I don't know. We'll have to keep it look, or is it all going to come pulling back hard? It's hard to tell, but especially on these penny ones, I think they're going to try to bounce some. RVSN, let's look at that railroad because it looked great yesterday. Pulled back today, obviously stayed above that MACD, and it looks another one. I mean, they just all have that look like they could easily bounce back up with no problem. Flat there, you could see it just go popping back up right there. So that's RVSN. I could see that bouncing with no problem. LEDs down 11 cents. This one did pull back, and another one, it was right there trying to get rolling. I could see this making that hard bounce back up. LEDs. Let me see. Definitely pull back pretty good. 120 to 109. It's at 113. And another one, we're just going to have to keep an eye. Is it going to come all the way back down to that 101? I'm not exactly sure on that one. So LEDS, we'll have to keep an eye on. REVB. Little pullback there, but not looking bad. I think this one tries to get moving. I was looking at this. I was looking at them all today, honestly, but this one actually was trying to curl up and get moving. So keep your eye on that REVB because it is looking decent. So much better than most of them. And again, I think we may see a bunch of pop-ups tomorrow, but I can't guarantee it. So I'm telling you which ones actually look the best to run. SUGP down 12 cents, up 5. And let's see what it's doing right there. Just a little bit of pullback. I mean, it ran up and pulled back 126, or it opened at 126, came down to 106 at 113. And let me just see what this is up to. SUGP. Another one, it could easily go back up tomorrow with no problem. So ASST, that one pulled back 8 cents, looked really good yesterday. It was moving, curled up yesterday. It hit that 20, was trying to keep the momentum up over it, but just obviously didn't today. And another one could easily bounce back up over that 20, and that would be back over like $1.03. And what it do? It got to $1.04 today. So did it open up there? No, it opened at $1.02 and got to $1.04. So it could easily get back up there tomorrow. That's where it needs to be, ASST. And I mean, all of them just kind of took that pullback. That's why I wasn't posting a whole lot today. But they are dip and rip situations, and that's what I figured we'd go over tonight. So DRMA, another one, just kind of pulling back there. It was look, I mean, thing was looking great up until basically 3 days ago on the 29th. So what day was that? The Tuesday that was. So about 2 days ago, really the 29th. That's when this thing started to pull back. And now it's hitting that line. And is it going to bounce? It looks like it very well. That kind of crossed through. But again, it's right at that spot where it could pull itself up and just roll right off. So another one just leaves you with a weird look that you can't exactly pinpoint. And you know, I don't like that because I like to be able to pinpoint these things. SXTP is at 60 degrees pharmaceuticals, and that one was just trying to get moving. It ran up yesterday and it went from what 70 to 89, then today 80 to 88 and pulled back to 77 and then 73 in the after hours. And it was curling up looking pretty good there, SXTP. So let me just take a look. And yeah, just kind of pulling back there. I think it's still setting up. So we'll keep our eye on that one. SXTP, that's 60 degrees pharmaceuticals. And let's look at Lemonade because that was actually good. And I remember looking at it the other night saying they might have some good lemonade going. And they did. That one actually popped up today. It opened, I mean, yesterday it closed at what, 1875. And today it opened at 2088, got up to 2540, and it's at about 2390 right now. LMND. And we were just talking about it. It's in the top right there. So definitely have to be careful, but I'm not sure. They had their earnings when today or yesterday they had their earnings. I'm guessing they did pretty well at all. It looks green to me, but I'm not sure. I'm not looking at it. And but yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to stay up there either. I think they might have just ran up and it might have to pull back at this point, but maybe it'll get set up again. So that's Lemonade, LMND, and I'm not sure what they have going on. They're like a property and casualty company and insurance company. So I'm not exactly sure what's happening, but it was looking healthy and we were looking at it and the lemonade was sweet because it ran up nice. And so is Tara. She's pretty hot too because she keeps running up there to 251. She opened at 238 and got to 253 and we were looking at this way down there in the dollar 80s probably. I forget when I think so. It was in dollar 80s and 251 and it wants to run up in the top tomorrow. It at least appears that it wants to. So keep an eye on Tara to try to run up one last time right there. And then it's going to be up in the top, so I'm not sure you're going to want to chase it. But again, it looks curled up, so look at it in the morning, and if it's popping up, just run that momentum real quick. And I believe your 200 is like at 265, and your 20 and 50 are underneath, and they just crossed. And like I said, Tara looks like she wants to run up into the top. So she's up there and she looks like she wants to stay. GNPX. This was up the other day, what day last week, the 22nd. It popped way up there and then it pulled back. It made a nice base. And this one might be trying to curl back up to get higher. So GNPX, we'll keep our eye back on that one and see if it wants to curl back up. It looks pretty good to try to. So I'll keep an eye on it and see what it wants to do. It caught my eye today, and I thought, that one might get running again. So let's add it to the list real quick. FFIE, that one we were looking at, it was up 2 cents, and our 20's coming down at 228. This is at 205, just kind of flat down there. Let me look on mine. FFIE. And it's not looking too bad right there. So we'll keep an eye on it, see if it's actually trying to curl up down there and get moving. JL, this one had run up. Somebody was asking me, I forget who exactly was asking me about it, and I was looking at it, and it had run up that first day, which was a couple days ago on the 29th, and then yesterday or 2 days ago on the 30th. Yeah, yesterday, the 30th, it was 73 to 94, and then today it ran up some more. It went from 83 to like 91 and now it looks like it's coming out of the top. It came out of the top, and it looks like it's just pulling back there. So it might have to come back down into the 40s. It's at 53 cents, but it did have a 2, 3 pretty healthy days of running up there. So you had your opportunity with JL. if you were trying to trade it, but now it's coming back down, and we'll see if it tries to build a base, but I'm not exactly sure. And let's look at some with earnings tomorrow because there's a few more with earnings. And again, the Mag 7 reported, and I guess the rest of them were today, and it was crazy. I don't know if any of them, nah, none of them are tomorrow for the Mag 7. I think your biggest one would probably be like Exxon Mobil for tomorrow. But let's go ahead and look at these guys and see what we see and see what they look like going into tomorrow's earnings. CVX is Chevron, and I guess it's oil and gas turn. So let's look at it. It basically opened and closed at 148. We'll say it was at 148.76 in the open and 148.82 in the after hours. So you know how much I love that look. And the 20's coming down on it. This is curling up. I kind of feel like this one has to go down. They might even beat their earnings, Chevron CVX. And I think it's going to have to try to pull back for some crazy reason just because it's sitting right there and it looks like it wants to come down. So just telling you what I see. It doesn't make any sense to be honest, but again, the market's a little wacky right now going into the election. So CBOE, let's look at that guy and see what's up. This one looks like it wants to try to roll off. Well, this one looks really good for earnings tomorrow. So let me look in the after hours. CBOE. Yeah, this one's looking really good, guys. So I think CBOE is looking like it wants to go up. So take a look at that one. And we will certainly see if that wants to pop. It's rolling off of there and it's moving. So I think CBOE, and that's a financial data and stock exchange. Oh, yeah, the CBOE Global Markets. I wasn't even paying attention. Duh. And yeah, that one looks like it came down the after hours, but it looks like it wants to try to bounce up there. So I'll take a look at that in the morning for sure and see what it wants to do. That could be an interesting one. I didn't even realize what I was looking at. CBOE. And yeah, that is a financial market. So let me look at that, jotting it down so I remember. And let's look at W, which is Wayfair. That was up 8 cents or 18 cents today and then up $1.12 in the after hours. And this is way down there. I think their earnings are going to do well because it already pulled back. So keep your eye on Wayfair to try to go back up tomorrow. And that is the letter W. So watch for that one to try to get moving. Let me look on mine real fast and just take a peek. Yeah, I think Wayfair goes up tomorrow, so keep your eye on that. They have their earnings. Fubu or Fub Fubo. It's not Fubu. That's a clothing company. Fubo is Fubo, and that's Fubo TV. So it wasn't Fubu. I was lying, and it's the TV one, Fubo, and this one has earnings, and it looks like it's coming down tomorrow. So. I would think on mine it looks kind of flat and a little bit different. On the Finviz, it looks like it's coming back down. Let's see. It closed at 186 right there. And let me just see. That one's a hard to tell because the two charts are like completely different. So I am not 100% sure on FUBO. I'll have to look at that one in the morning just to see if it wants to show me what it wants to do. ENB. Let's see what that's up to. And Bridge down 19 cents. Their earnings, that looks like it's coming back down as well. ENB. So let me see on mine. And I mean, they are just so crazy different looking. This is nuts. But they opened and closed at about the same price for like the last 2 days. And on Finviz, it looks like it's pulling back down. On mine, it looks like it could pull up. So I have to look at ENB and see what it wants to do because I don't even know which chart to trust right now. They're just so crazy and all over the place. WAT is Waters Corp, and this is a diagnostic and research company. And let's look at this one. This one was bouncing off that bottom down there. And phew, wow, down 348 WAT. And looks like it wants to pull back some more. So yeah, if it I mean almost looks like it wants to get into the basement. It is setting up to be bullish, but I'm not so sure it wants to bounce tomorrow. Could it? Yeah, but it's just so hard to see. And again, the ones that look like they want to go down are going up, and the ones that look like they want to go up are going down. So it's just, it looks like it wants to pull back, but it could bounce off, and I can't really tell, to be honest. It's getting bullish for like a month out, so I could see it pulling back there. And what else? CAH, Cardinal Health. This one is way down there. I could see this one trying to bounce back. CAH. Let's see. Yeah, this one looks like it wants to bounce back up. CAH. So keep an eye on the old Cardinal Health right there. And that looks like it's trying to get moving back up there tomorrow. So keep your eye there. And what is that? TDS, Telephone and Data System. That's up 14 cents. That's interesting. It's all the way up at the top. I would imagine this one's going to come back down just because a lot of them at that top have been, and it has that weird look where it basically opened and closed at the same price. And I think it's coming back down. It's just hitting that top. I don't think it's staying up there. So I think TDS is going to pull back and just watch how it'll roll off and fly up tomorrow because they're all doing complete opposites. But I'm just telling you what I see, like always. So Tile, TILE, that's Interface Inc. And that one's touching that support. This one I would think has to bounce back off and go up tomorrow. So let's look at Tile real fast. Yeah, I think Tile goes up tomorrow. TILE. And maybe it did in the after hours. 1815, 1771 to 1815, and that's where it closed at. And this says it's at 1747. I mean, it's just bizarre. Every other one's a different, like they're all different. And then it's like Finviz does the after hours on some, and then mine does it on the other one. I have no idea what's going on. So that's Tile, but it is looking good, at least on my chart on Finviz. It looks like it could bounce. And all these have their earnings tomorrow. And the letter D, I forget what that was. Oh, Dominion Energy. That's right. It's an or electric company, right? Yeah, it's an electric company right here. So it's in the energy sector. And this looks like it wants to make that hard curl up. So just keep your eye on it because I did look at it, and that's what it looked like when I first looked at it. Obviously, with this market, we have no idea, but it definitely looked like to me, it looked like it wanted to make that hard curl up. So they do have their earnings tomorrow, and that is our earnings. And we might as well just hit ExxonMobil real quick and just enter them in because they have their earnings, and that one is pulling back, making a base down there. Now, is it trying to run tomorrow? I don't know. That one's a tough one to tell, too. And that 20's coming down on it. I don't know. I don't think ExxonMobil, and again, I'm saying it looks like it wants to come down. It'll probably pop up because they're just doing complete opposite right now. So it looks like it wants to pull back down. So watch for it to try to go up. And because I'm telling you, that's what they're doing right now. And this is down there, but it made a base, but it does look like it's trying to get pushed back down. And again, just telling you what I'm seeing. Let's run through the rest of these real quick because we can kind of just fly right through, and then we'll call it an early Halloween night and see what happens tomorrow morning because we had all our earnings for our Mag 7s, and it's just been a wild week going into the election. So there's not a whole lot to pick apart, but of course we want to see our big caps, our Mag 7, our crypto is pulling back as well today. So let's just bang through this list. There's not that many over there. I'll just roll right through them. TNON, TNON, and then I'll check the messages. So if you guys want to see anything else, just let me know. TNON was running up. I think we were looking at it last night, as a matter of fact, and it was moving up a little bit today. A little bit of pullback there, and another one. It's hard to tell. It looked like it wanted to keep its momentum, but then in the after hours, it looked like it kind of got deflated. So I'll take a look at TNON in the morning and just see if it's trying to get moving. Probably won't even know until like when the market really opens, unless it's popping up at that 4 a.m. Right now, they're not really doing a whole lot, but maybe tomorrow will be a little different that we got past all the Mag 7 earnings and all that craziness. So KPTI and the market could react differently to that Apple. I'm telling you, they had pretty good earnings and somehow it pulled back, but they all were doing it. So Maybe it'll reverse. KPTI did run up today. It was up 14 cents. I think I saw this on either Fin Stock Twits or I saw it on the scanner. I forget where, but 92 cents to a dollar 13. It's at 102. Does it want to continue up? That's the thing. Hit that resistance up there. Another one. I mean, they run up like this and then they get that look like they don't want to. So I'm gonna say it might pull back right there, and it's another one. I mean, it's just hard to tell. But yeah, it just looks like it ran up today where it might pull back tomorrow. And again, being a Friday, you have to be careful. So you have to look to lock in those profits. And if it does run up higher in the morning, if it gets back up over dollar 10 area, it went to what, a dollar 13 today? Yeah, it's got to get over that like dollar 10 and basically get moving off of that. So that's what you're looking for on KPTI and MGNX. Let's look at that one. Macro Genetics is looking pretty good right there to make that hard curl up. At least right now it is. MGNX. I would say look at this one to get moving in the morning as well. It was moving today, but look for it to be moving some more. 339 to 371. It's at 366. MGNX. And it looks pretty good right there. Your 20, it should hit up there, is at like 377. And it should get it with no problem right there. So watch for this one to try to keep moving. MGNX. TFFP. TFF Pharmaceuticals. Let's see what this is up to. And wow, that's an interesting chart. Like up and down, never wants to come down through it. So, but an extremely weird look, and it looked like it would pop up today, and it did 251 to 323. And I don't know if I would trust this one. TFFP. Um, yeah, I'm not sure I'd trust this one tomorrow. I'd have to look at it and see how it opens up there. Would it open and closed at the same price again after that big run up 251 and then closed at 250. So hard one to see. It says it went up in the after hours, but I'm not exactly sure. And I'd have to look at that one too. I'm telling you, they're just goofy. ABVE. I know we looked at this before and it took a massive dip today. It was dipping the last few days and just, in fact, the other day it still looked fine. I would say on the 29th. I know it ran up on the 28th there to 65 cents. And obviously, gotta, when they're running up, gotta play them smart. And it was still over that 20, but as soon as the 29th came, it was just kind of hovering around there. And these last 2 days were kind of brutal for it. And it came down to that bottom. Now, the thing is, does it want to get into the basement or does it want to bounce? It almost has that bounce look right there. And I'll be honest with you, it did want to move, and it never really got through that 50 there on that 28. So I would watch for this bounce play on ABVE, and it could definitely do it. So I'm not saying it definitely will, but it could. So just watch for that bounce play on ABVE. Obviously, I'll be watching it to see if it tries to get into the basement, and we'll see what goes on there. And here's the chart for ABVE. I'll just post it out. Thanks, Laptop Travel. But yeah, it's not looking bad at all, guys. So just keep an eye on it. I'm not sure what that 30-minute, but yeah, it's not looking bad right there. And so yeah, we'll keep an eye on ABVE. I'll look at it in the morning and see if it's trying to bounce back up. If it is, it could get bouncing. And honestly, that 50 is coming down to the 20. It won't do it yet, but it will set up. But we want to see it bounce off and get back up to that 20 and try to get in between that 54 and that 63 again. So that's what we want to see it do. And again, a lot of these have that bottom look where they need to bounce back off tomorrow, and ABVE is one of them. Let's look at BFLY real quick. For Energy is Everywhere. That one was just pulling back. That had earnings today as well, or tomorrow. I mean, they have earnings tomorrow. It was down 6 cents, up 11. It's right there on the 20, pulling back there. It looks like it was curling down. Everything looks pulling back. BFLY, Butterfly Network. And I mean, I wish I actually, you know what? I never even I was busy. I didn't even think about it. The video sitting right here. I never even posted the pre-market when I had it edited right after the thing and just was busy with my little guy for Halloween and all that stuff. So I'll post it as soon as we get off. I can't. I had it done. It'll be up immediately because it's already edited and just sitting. I'm looking at it. It's already done, and I never put it there. Um. So I'll post the pre-market one. That's my bad. I meant to post it like right after we did it, and so you guys could see it. And I didn't even realize I didn't post it today. But I'll post that. And when you guys see this, I'm just gonna go through this thing just so you can look. This butterfly network is crazy. It looks like it's curling down. The 20's coming down, the RSI is coming down, and it crossed down on the MACD. Now I go to Mayan. It looks like we're on two different worlds. And now they're the 31st. I'm just going to make sure it's the same days. And of course, that's the 31st. So we are the same days. And then Mayan looks like it wants to curl up. It's over the MACD and has that look like it wants to bounce up. So I mean, you're not even looking at two of the same. They don't even look like the same chart. So I have no idea. It's just the craziest thing I ever saw. And oh wait, was I way off of that? Wait a second. What was I looking at then? Nah, I had to have been looking at that, right? Yeah, that one's. Oh yeah, yeah. And then mine looks better. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I went back to Finviz. I was gonna say, what? Yeah, Finviz looks like it's going right down, and mine looks like it wants to kind of go back up. So two different looks completely. And I was like confusing myself there. And then I was like, wait a second, do they look the same? But no, they look completely opposite. And I have no idea what it wants to do. And that is BFLY. Holy cow. BFLY Butterfly Network. And I'll look at it in the morning. I'll write it down right above the CBOE. BFLY. We'll look at them in the morning, see what they're up to, and I'll try to give you a better idea. Energy is everywhere because I mean they're just all over the place. Let's look at that TPET. This one could be an interesting one. It was down a little bit, a little more in the after hours. I didn't notice that, but it is down there. And this one looks like it wants to bounce, to be honest with you. I would say it does. I know it ran up the other day on what day, the 25th, 14 cents to 20, and then started pulling back some more since then. And like I said, that could be the bottom right there. The 20 is way up here at like 15, and we're at under 13 now. So, I mean, it's not crazy, but we'll have to see if this one wants to bounce off this bottom right here. And this one was trying to. You can see it tried to curl up a few times there. It was over it right there, and then it came back down. So, we'll take a look at that TPET because that one could be set up to get moving right there. And let's take a look at let's look at a few of these laptop travels. LRHC. Let's see, La Rosa Holdings. That looks like it could be just pulling back a little bit right there. Let me take a better look in the after hours. LRHC. Yeah, we'll have to see when that comes back down, but it did run up pretty nice over there on the 23rd. I have to say that, and we'll see. It looks like it's going to try to build a base, and the 20 and 50 are going to try to get there. So, uh, we'll see what that's up to, and I'll look at them bad boys too. And CARM, let's look at that one. That was down 2 cents and up a little in the after hours, just kind of pulling back to that line sitting on the 20. And like I say, a lot of these have that pullback look from today. This one looks like it wants to try to move tomorrow on my chart, CARM. So we'll look at that one. Omega, OMGA is Omega Therapeutics, and that one was kind of pulling back, but looks like it's going to hit that 20 and that MACD and possibly get that bounce look. So this one kind of looks like it would roll off there and bounce back up right there. So that's Omega EFOI. Let's see, that one's sitting in a really good spot. We're just kind of hanging out today, not even doing anything. Apparently, let me look. 136 to 132, and that's where it's sitting. So it didn't really do a whole lot, but it did dip down a couple cents, and it's sitting in a pretty good spot right there. EFOI Energy Focus. It's looking pretty nice right there, I have to say. I want to keep an eye on that one. Staff STAF. Staffing 360. I remember when this ran up on the 17th, it went nutty, but now it's pulled back and it's hitting that MACD. Let me see if it crossed through right there. And today is probably, it did, but it's in that spot where it can pull itself back up and roll off. So it could very well do that with the 20 and 50. I would watch this one tomorrow, staff, and see if it wants to go up. It's right there where it could just pop back up and get moving. So keep an eye on STAF, SNES. Let's see. This one's just pulling back again. Another one. I think these things have to set up that 20 and 50, but it's not very far off. I know we were looking at it not long ago, and I think it's right about there to get set up maybe next week. How about NEOV? Let's look at that. That was in a good spot. And like yesterday, how they all have now you see why I don't like them to open and close on that same price. 328 opened yesterday, closed at 328. And what did it do today? 322 it opened, went up to 330 and all the way back down to 302. They're a hard look when they do it, and you're just not sure because then they run up a little bit and come crashing down. And now you see why I say that. And then sometimes that it doesn't matter. But in these instances, they're killing us. They are absolutely killing us, and they're doing all of them like that. As you can tell, they're all terrible, horrible looks. And going into earnings, big earnings week, and going into an election. So, I mean, you can't make it any more difficult, but obviously, I look through it and see what goes on, and we can pick out the ones that will run. But now I'm just trying to explain why I don't like that look, and you know something's up. So, what I've come to realize is when I'm not confident in them, I'm just going to be a patient like we've been, and and then just wait until I'm confident with them. And that's all you have to do. And again, that's all part of that trading smart and just looking at them the right way. And if you think they're pulling back, just go at your gut, get out of things, and have your cash freed up to be able to buy at these lows because that's where you can really make your money. And just being smart about them. And again, not having a whole bunch of positions. You don't need a bunch. You just need to trade a few of them, one, two, three of them smart, and you do perfect. And so yeah, that's just that hard look, and that's why I've been trying to attack the ones that I'm very confident in, and I'm just trying to explain to you because this one gives it to you right there yesterday, and then today it ran up a little and then pulls back really nice. So, and then it's sitting in another great spot where you can't tell. So I'm just trying to explain it to you. And like I said, I'll pop these videos up and you can look at this and it's NEOV. So you can go and see what I'm looking at and I'll bring it up on mine, NEOV. And like I said, I haven't even been using the stock charts because it's going to look exactly like FinViz. Right there. I go NEOV there. Look at where that thing is right there, crossed over, and that's coming down. Ready? Here's our FinViz. Here we go. Ready? That's crossed up going down and coming down on your RSI. They literally look identical. And then you go to Mayan and it's crossed up there. A little healthy pullback. Nice little candle dip there, but not the end of the world. So I'm telling you, like two different worlds. And then yesterday had that weird look. So just a bunch of crazy stuff right there. Just kind of pointing it out. And like I said, you guys can watch the videos. So just kind of helping you out if you go ahead and check out the videos and go ahead and check them out and leave some comments and let me know what you guys think, obviously, because more feedback, the better. So let me know what you guys think of the videos, and I will post this one. And like I said, the pre-market one I'll put right up. I totally forgot to do it today. NEOV. So yeah, we'll look at that one tomorrow as well. And yeah, I'm just gonna put a big note on my computer screen to upload the pre-market show right after the show so I remember. So yeah, because you guys know my brain and I get done and it's like a lot of work and then I go up and start taking care of my little guy. But I edit it real quick and popped it all up and then I just have it uploading and whenever that finishes I can just put it right up immediately. So yeah, I'll have it. I'll do it much more smoothly next week. So obviously tomorrow Friday, but I'll remember tomorrow and pop it up. But anyway, let's roll through this list. We're almost done anyway. PYXS. Let's look at that down 21 cents. Another one just sitting right there. I could see this one trying to bounce right off of there. PYXS. I could see it trying to bounce off of that. So we'll keep an eye for a bounce on that play. And SDIG down 50 cents. And another one just pulled back, was looking great. Had that weird look to 29th. Yesterday, it had no idea what it wanted to do. Um, it could have went either way. And then today, it just again, and tomorrow it could easily bounce up SDIG. So just keep an eye on that. And I wanted to look at the Israeli aerospace and defense real quick. So let's rock and roll through that one. And let's see what they're up to. GAUZ down 27 cents, pulling back. Nothing really crazy there, but it's meeting that 20 and 50 at a good spot. I'm going to say GAUZ is getting ready to pop off there. Don't have a crazy look. It had a crazy pullback today, it looks like, but it opened at 973, got up to 988 and came down to 899 and it stopped at 9. It closed at 9. So it is at 9 right now. And again, it's just sitting right there in a pretty good spot to try to bounce really hard. So we'll keep an eye on that GAUZ, TATT. That was down 76 cents, just pulling back. It looks like it crossed through coming down. Let me take a quick look. TATT. And it did. It did take that look down, but it has one of them looks like it could very well possibly dip down a little more to that low 18s and pop right up real hard. So, and it is bullish, I'll tell you that. It's going to be going up. So, if it gets down to 1805 or like into the 1780s, 1790s, look for that. And it should try to get moving again. So TATT is setting up. PRZO. Well, let me get that one. And that's Para Zero Technologies. And this one opened and closed right at the same price today. Just pulling back right there, but setting up super, super bullish in about a month, I would say. And could easily just run up from that 59 to 65 area for a little bit. We'll see if it wants to pull back anymore. But this one will get set up, PRZO, but nothing real crazy going on here. And then ESLT, that one ran way up. It's at the top, so this one's gonna have to come back down. But it's setting up super bullish for like a month or so out too. So just keep your eye on that. But that one should be pulling back. So look for that one to be trying to go down very soon. ESLT, because it ran way up to that 228. I don't even, we were looking at it, I think, in like the lower 190s possibly. I mean, when we were looking at these things in August, it was in the 180s and 170s. And now it's at 228. And we were looking at and it's going to keep going up. So that's at ESLT. And again, that's the Israel Aerospace and Defense, but nothing jumping out real crazy at the moment. So that's a good thing. And let me go through and see what you guys want to see. And then we'll go through the crypto and the big cap. So let me just check the messages real quick, see if I missed anything here. HCTI, that healthcare triangle or whatever, healthcare triangle, that one's been running up, and watch for that to try to run up some more in the morning, HCTI, but it's going to top out up there. So be careful. But yeah, that one did run up massively for us. It ran up to like 190 the other day on October 28th. And we were looking at this thing like in the 40-cent range. So that was HCTI, and their shares are up after acquiring Secure Cloud's cloud and tech assets. The deal was finalized through an asset transfer agreement, with HCTI issuing 1.6 million shares of Series B preferred stock to Secure Cloud. And there you go. So you guys can check that out. I'll post the chart. Thank you, Laptop Travel. So that's why HCTI has been going up there. Scheider. But yeah, that one's we've been looking at that bad boy. Let me look at these couple real quick. I know these are Israeli ones too. TPST, right? Oh no, I thought they were. I saw the HUBC and SPRC, but TPST is not. That's that Tempest Therapeutics. and that one dipped down. That tried to cross through the other day on the 29th and then pulled back. Had that weird look yesterday when it opened and closed right around the same. And then today, this one looks like it wants to try to get bouncing too. So, I mean, you might have a lot of great dip and rip opportunities going on here. DATS. Let's see what that's up to. That chat. Um, that's is trying to curl back up, I would say. I would watch this for a momentum play tomorrow. DATS. And again, I mean, holy cow. All right, so here you go. On here, it looks like it's trying to roll back up, and on mine, it looks like it's trying to flatten out and come back down. So I'll look at it in the morning and see what that's want to do. And DATS, because it is just so bizarre. INDO, that's up 47 cents and moving right there. I would look at this thing. Once it gets back up over that 430, it'll be pretty nice. And it is trying to curl up. INDO. Yeah, look at this one to try to move up. INDO. And that is Indonesia Energy. And this thing was like up like way high before. I mean, like in crazy amount range. Let me see. Like $90 or so. I remember it being like super high at one point. Um, March 7th at 86. I don't know what year this is, but yeah, I just remember this thing being way up there and then just noticing like, wow, that thing's all the way down to like $3 and $2. That's crazy because it used to run way up. So that's INDO. And let's look at HUBC. Isn't that a Israeli one? Yeah, Israel Infrastructure Software Company. And this one looks pretty good. Watch for this one to try to get set up right here. HUBC. That's looking really good tomorrow. So keep an eye on that one. HUBC is looking nice. And also, SPRC is also, I think, an Israeli one. Let me look. SPR, oh, SPRC. And that is a biotech company in Israel. And that one's rolling up. That one looks great, guys, actually. So keep your eye on them too for sure. SPRC and HUBC. They both look great right there. So thank you, Laptop Travel. Oh, let's look at Coin. What was that? Well, we're going to look at it anyway. So, but they're like having a buyback of like $1 billion. And the thing just dipped like perfectly for them. So, I would imagine that was a beauty for them, and they'll be buying some Coinbase up. So let me take a look. The reverse split's coming up. SG, hold on, STBX. Starbucks Group is uh splitting today. Watch for this to try to bounce. Huge dip right there. What is it? STBX. Yeah, that took a nice dip. It ran up. What is that? The 29th, so like 2 days ago. And then yesterday it ran from like 422 back up to 508. So it got even higher than the 427 the day before. And then today it opened at $1.26 and got up to $1.89, hitting that line, and it's splitting. So and it's split today. So let's see this one. If it gets in the basement, we'll watch it to get out, and if not, just watch it to try to pop up. So keep an eye on that because that was a 1-4-16 split right there. And let's look at this FGF1 fundamental global. I don't see that it's splitting right there. Reverse split November 1st. 1 for 25, it says Laptop Travel, but I doesn't say it on here, but I'll take your word for it. And it is sitting there at 101, it says, and it's kind of just flat right there. FGF. So actually today 106. Opened at 106, got up to 108 and came back down to 90. Is that what this says? 107 came, doesn't say 90. So I'm guessing it did it in the after hours because that's where it closed. And that one's pulling back. So another one, we'll watch that one for that reverse split as well. And so cool. We'll definitely keep an eye on them bad boys. And we did that, the SYRS and all that good stuff. So let's get into our Mag 7. If anybody else wants to see anything, let me know. And let me see what's going on with our big caps and all that nonsense. You want to look at crypto first? Let's look at it because it wasn't looking too hefty a little bit ago. Bitcoin's just teetering between 69,000 and 68,900 and something. Let's see. It did take a nice pullback, and I think it just tried to make a bunch of room on the chart. So we'll see if it's going to try to bounce back up. Obviously, Ethereum was looking great. Um, Literally was starting to rock and roll, and immediately just curled and went straight down. So it went from curled up to curled down. Solana at 165 just did like a complete reversal because that was looking great. And then all of a sudden just came down to the line. So we're keeping our eye on all these for tomorrow. Cardano back to 33, and that was over to 50 and 100. And then all of a sudden just came straight down on it. They were looking perfect. And then all of a sudden got crushed. So Doge is back down under 16, but I mean, it's not looking terrible. They did need to make some room. They were way up on the 70, but still, I mean, they got pretty crushed tonight and today. So Bonk is, let me take a look at Bonk real quick. And that one is just below the 50, and the 50 and 100 are trying to meet. And this one was trying to curl up, and it's just pulling back a hair. So that is BONK, Bonk. And now let's look at our SPY and everybody else because that heat map was red. I think Walmart might have been up a little bit today, and that didn't even look that good. So let's take a look and see what's going on. The SPY, it was down 1137 today. It got down to that 568. Now I remember I said it should get down to that 570. I didn't think it was going to do it because it's been holding itself up so well. But guess what it did today? It got down there. I guess I should just stay with what I say, and even though they're building bases, just know it's going to do it because it definitely made it down there. And now we're going to watch for it to bounce. It's sitting on the 50 in a hard line, and I would assume it's bouncing tomorrow, is what it looks like to me. And what did it say? It went up 83 cents in the after hours, back up to 569. Let's take a look at everything else real quick. GameStop, that was down $1.10. And yesterday they ran up, had a weird look, ran up yesterday and pulled back. And like I said, this thing was setting up and it still is. It's looking good. I think GameStop, just some healthy pullback there. It's nothing real crazy, making a little more room. AMC was setting up great. So let's look at it because it was down a little bit today, but nothing crazy. I think if anything, you're coming back down to the 429 and 420 area. And then, like I said, this thing is just setting up. Their earnings are November 6th. And I'm not sure what's going on with AMC, but it is bullish. So I'm just listening to me on that. That one's bullish. Chewy looks like it's hit that bottom and it's going to try to get moving again. And this one is setting up to be bullish. So keep your eye on CHWY. NVDA, this was down 658, but popped back up in the after hours. And again, it dropped down under that 20 right there, pulled back, made a ton of room on the chart. I mean, not on the MACD, but everywhere else. And it could easily go back up or it could easily dip back down to 125. So it did go back up in the after hours, NVIDIA. And let me see, it's not showing me on my chart that it wants to go back up. So I'll take a look at it in the morning. It looks like it wants to continue down right there. Let's look at Apple because, like I said, I think their earnings weren't bad. It does have a red E, so I'm not sure what the heck happened, but I thought they beat their revenue was really good or something. I don't even know. I didn't, but it's definitely down 419 today, and then some more in the after hours. And that bad boy looks like it's pulling back their Apple. And again, another one that was just set up. I mean, it's super bullish right there. So it looks like it wants to pull back, but I mean, it should be bouncing off like a maniac and getting crazy. So that's Apple. And I'm obviously going to have to look at these at 7 a.m. Um, Google did pull back like 345. Their earnings were the other day, and obviously they did beat them and it jumped up, but it's pulling back right there. Amazon, that was down 633, but then ran up 1056 back up to 196 in the after hours. So again, this one pulled back down and then had that big bounce back up, it says. So I think that you're going to see a lot of them do it, but this one never curled back down. And so we have to take a look because Amazon never curled through. It just kind of bounced off. Some of the other ones did. So we'll have to look at them and see if they're all going to be bouncing. But Amazon definitely took a nice bounce. Meta, this one pulled back to the 560s and it's at 568. And another one was trying to curl up there and just kind of bounce down. I think this one's going to get bouncing back up and get moving. It could pull back a little bit more, but I mean, not a whole lot. I think down to the 555s. Did a touch there today. It got down pretty the 563 area. So we'll see what it wants to do in the morning. And that's META, and that is Meta. And we'll see what that's up to. And their earnings were green all over the place yesterday. So, and again, green and coming down. So even Apple did well, and that pulled back. Microsoft, MSFT, and their earnings were pretty green yesterday as well, and that dipped hard back to 406. It's up a little bit in the after hours. And again, setting up super bullish right there. I think they just all took a nice dip, and they're dip and rip situations. On mine, it looks like it wants to still pull back, but I would assume it's coming down here to set back up and start popping up there. So I think you're going to have a lot of great prices right there. And Tesla, that came down 770. It's up 25, 20 something cents in the after hours, but it looks like it wants to pull back as well and possibly come back into the 230s right there. So Tesla, keep an eye on that to try to pull back a little bit more. And again, it's just going to set up and get crazy. So that's what you're looking at with the Mag 7. Nike, that one did pull back today. No, it was up 68 cents. And I think you had your bottom right there. So today, that's what I saw. I thought it was the bottom. It did pull back. It opened at 76.20. It got up to 77.34, but it was down at 75.20. And I think that might have been your bottom. And it closed at 77.13. So I think Nike might try to get bouncing back up. We'll look at it in the morning, obviously, and see. And again, I think you're going to see a lot of these hit that bottom right there on the pullback. So you might have had some great price action right here to make some real money. So Rivian, RIVN, just pulled back like 29 cents. It's sitting right there. Their earnings are coming up in November 7th, and it's right there. So I think this one's about to get set up to move, and it's been setting up now. It was over to 20, and it's sticking right there. It's not too far off it. And I think that 20 will bring it back up a little bit. So that's Rivian, RIVN. And let's take a look at PLTR. Down to 13. And again, this one was way up there. I think this one still has to come down some. So PLTR, I think you are going to see a little pullback on, and then obviously get set up. The 50's down at like $37. So we'll keep an eye on that, but I think you might see a little pullback. Sophie down 5 cents. And this thing, I'm telling you, it could run right back up into the top. It's a crazy look right there, but it looks like it wants to roll back up there. And I'm not sure how, but it does. So, and another one, opened at 11:16, it closed at 11:17. So, I mean, I'm just sitting there looking at it like I have no idea what that wants to do, but it does look like it's trying to roll back up into the top, but could easily come back down. And I would assume it wants to come back down because it's been up at the top for so long. And that is SOFI. And BA, this was down 498 today, and just kind of it was curling up yesterday and just took an opposite turn. And I still think it looks pretty decent, to be honest. I don't know how, but I think it's going to try to roll off there and just continue up. And once it tries to get back over that 157, it was up 254 in the after hours. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know if it's going to curl through right there. I think it's going to kind of roll off. And again, I'm not sure how. So Boeing BA, it doesn't look like it wants to cross. You have like Apple crossing through, Boeing's rolling off. They're their planes are falling apart and they're leaving astronauts in space. So don't ask me. I mean, this is it's completely out of whack right now. They were trying to run normal and now they just became like completely crazy. So I have no idea what just happened with the market and with the election, but something's going on. Um, Snow, SNOW. Let's look at that because that was trying to curl up yesterday and took a nice pull back 417 and up a little in the after hours. And I think this one's going to be a good dip and rip situation. We'll watch this and see if it wants to pull back some more tomorrow, and then we'll take a look at it. Dell, this was pulling back today, back to that hard line down 577. And this one's setting up. And again, it was trying to curl through yesterday and then it just pulled back. So that's Dell, and it's just a little flat, but it is setting up, and I have a feeling that's going to get moving as well. So, like I said, I think these things are going to get bouncing. AMD down another 453, setting up super bullish up here, but it is pulling back at the moment. So, get it at the best price. AMD, watch it pull back a little more, and we'll get that bad boy down there. And let's look at space, SPCE, down 22 cents and just pulling back. And it could just dip down again. And it did look like it was trying to hold itself up yesterday. And that market conditions did not want to hold it up at all. So it did cross down. It could pull itself up tomorrow. It's in that spot, but not exactly sure. I'll obviously have to look at space, SPCE. INTC wasn't looking bad in the after hours. It pulled back today and took a nice little dip right there, but let me see what it's doing. It opened at 22.19. It got up to 24.85. Its low is 20.64, and it's at 23.01 in the after hours. So Intel, I think INTC gets moving tomorrow, guys. So keep an eye on Intel because it's looking pretty good to get cruising right there. So watch for it. And my chart looks like it wants to go down, or Finviz looks like it wants to go down. My chart looks good, but I know it was looking decent in the after hours. Disney, remember this one, this up $1.12. I'm telling you, this thing's about to go over 100. So, oh, excuse me. Keep your eye on Disney because it's about to get rolling right there, Walt Disney. And yeah, I'm not sure what they have going on, but Disney is looking good right there. So keep your eye on DIS because that's looking pretty good. SMCI, this went down a little bit more today, down 396 and a little bit more. Is it going to come down to that 24? It could. It's in the basement down there. So and their earnings are on the 5th. Can you imagine what that's going to look like? SMCI. So we'll see if it's going to try to bounce or if it's going to stay in that basement. I would have to assume in that basement. SMCI. Let's look at Oxy down 6 cents and just kind of pulling back. Like I said, their earnings are November 12th, so in about 2 weeks, and this one's just making a base down here. ExxonMobil is tomorrow. We already looked at it, and it was just making a base down there. And again, I think it's trying to pull back a little bit, but watch it go up. Yeah, and I said it was trying to pull back. Mara. MARA down $1.51, and that's pulling back, crossing down. So these things were fired up just the other day, and now they're crossing back. Is it going to pull itself back up and move? I'm not so sure on that. Riot RIOT down $1.24, coming back to that 20, hitting that line. And again, all of these bad boys were run up into the top. So I expect them to come down. So it's not like it's crashing. They're just making room to get set up to run higher. And that's what you have to understand when I always say, you don't want to chase these things up here because this is what you're gonna get. You get them all the way up here, like Riot at 11.19 the other day on the 29th, and then all of a sudden you're back at 9.25 and pulling back. So now you know why I say you don't want to chase them when they're all the way at the top. I like to get them when they're out down at the bottom. So that's what I look at, and that's a Riot right there. And CLSK, that's that Clean Spark down $1.45, and another one just coming down, touching the line right there. And is it going to come through? Is it going to bounce? It's so hard to tell, but it could pull itself up and curl. They could be And again, this thing was set up super bullish as well. It looks just like that CONL. I'll do that real quick because they oh that chart changed actually. So there you go. CONL actually changed around a little bit and looks a little more bearish now. Looks like that could pull back. So let me see what coin looks like because that chart definitely changed. And coin is pulling back there and going down. So I guess coin their earnings must not have been great yesterday as well. And yeah, hit that top right there on the 29th at 223, and we're at 179 right now. Holy cow. And it looks like it wants to pull back some more. So I don't know what's up with Coinbase. You would think when crypto was moving, that would have been moving. And again, I think they want to do $1 billion buyback. So I guess they're just dropping that price down. They get the best price so that that bad boy can drive back up. So that's Coin and CONO, and DJT came down pretty good today. What 41 down to 33. It closed at about 35. And this one's coming back down to the line, but I think you're going to get a bounce off for that. So, Coin beat earnings and revenue estimates too, and it pulled back that much. I mean, you're just seeing the most bizarre things happen in the market right now. So that's why you got to be patient and just kind of take it day by day and really just pick the one that you really are confident in because there's not a whole lot that is looking perfect right now. DJT, I think that's going to get ready to roll back off. It could come back down to the 31, but it's going to make a base right here and then roll back up. That's what it looks like anyway. And that is our Trump media and fun. That was down a little and then up a little, but I think this is just pulling back. And again, this one came through to 20 though. So if DJT does that, it could really pull back there. But then on mine, it has that look like Fun wants to bounce back up. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like Fun wants to try to, curl back up at some point really soon, like make its base and pop off this 20 right here. So I'll look at that. PayPal, let's see that one up $1.08. And again, this one pulled back. Their earnings were great, I think. I think they were pretty decent. It pulled back, and now I think you're about to see that bounce back up on PayPal, PYPL. So PYPL, yeah, it looks like it's going to try to anyway, and it's super bullish right there. I could imagine that's going to pop back up. And QCOM, let's take a look at that one because that one pulled back and was super bullish. And and again, it's just so crazy. Their earnings are coming up November 6th, and it's setting up to be super bullish. So I guess we're gonna get a little pullback and then a nice dip and rip situation on CQCOM. So yeah, I think we're gonna get a bunch of great price action right here. MTN, that Mountain Val, down a little more today. It was trying to move back up, pulled back a little bit. Now it's trying to cross back down, but went back up like $3 in the after hours. And I'm telling you, this thing is going to get ripping very soon. And it was setting up super bullish. So keep your eye on that MTN because I think it's going to get moving soon. It looks like it wants to. It's just got to work through these earnings and also an election. So once we do that, they should be good. McDonald's, it's finally down here. I think it's making its base, is what it looks like. But I want to make sure before we take some action on it. So I'll look at it tomorrow. But today could have been its base. And yesterday could have been its bottom there at what, 289.84. So I'll take a look and see if it wants to start moving back. Its 20's at what, 304 right there, 304.20. So that's where our 20 is, and our 50's at like 298. So we're right about there. We're at 292. So I could see it trying to curl back up at this point to get moving again. And that was after that scare, E. coli, and all that outbreak stuff from the onions. So there you go. The E. coli was due to the onions and not the quarter pounders. And boom, that's MCD. And let's look at Ford because that was dipping down today. And they actually, I think, had pretty decent earnings the other day too, and just took a huge dip. So none of it makes sense at all. But let's see if Ford's trying to bounce back here at all. Let's see. It's still pulling back right there, so nothing really great with Ford. And MSTR, good old MicroStrategy, was down today. And again, this one at the top, it looks like it wants to stay up there and get rolling again. It looks like it wants to roll back up to the top. So MSTR, I think it wants to try to cruise back up there. I don't know. We'll have to see if that one's trying to pull back a little bit. I'll be able to tell a little better tomorrow. And I put Ford down twice. So there you go. I think I nailed them all right there. And in an hour and a half, that's pretty good. But yeah, it's a just a I'm looking at that heat map. That's ugly. Um, let's look and see what's active right now. LUXH, look for that to try to bounce back up. We've been looking at it. It was up a little today. So we looked at that yesterday and it did bounce up a little today. Um, BFRI ran, Playboy ran up today. I did see that. It was setting up pretty good. Matter of fact, I saw it like 3 weeks ago and never jotted it down, but it was setting up, and now I see why. So, that SMCI, oh yeah, I was thinking of the Smith one. SMCI is the super microchip. That's all the way down there. And like I said, I think that one might try to bounce back up. We'll see. Peloton ran way up there, so that's in the top. I'd assume that's going to be coming back down soon. Intel, we looked at that, and like I said, it looked like it was trying to set up there. We'll have to see on here. It doesn't look as good, but on mine it looks pretty decent. So, just totally different looks, crazy stuff. SVMH, keep an eye on that. I know we were looking at that. It took a beautiful dip right there, and it's looking pretty decent to try to bounce back. So SVMH. It's down at 3 cents now and looking pretty good. So keep an eye on that bad boy. And that's SVMH. That EFSH is looking pretty decent as well. And it's just trying to get curled back up. It took another that one took a nice dip too. So I'll keep an eye on them guys, see if they want to get moving. And Trump media, let me see what else is happening here. LAZR just pulling back there. Snap was up. Amazon, we went through. Ford, LCID, I told you that was pulling back. That's down like over 6%, down to 221. That's way down there. We'll keep an eye on that, see what they're up to. I mean, Apple looks great. I can't believe that's down. Uber's way down too. That pulled way back. But yet, AT&T looks great. So I'm not sure what they have going on, but they look like it wants to move. So keep your eye on AT&T right there, the letter T. That's looking pretty sweet right there. And we already did half of these guys and all them. Oh, JTAI. Let's look at that one real quick. Jet AI. This one I think is trying to get set up. At least it was the other day. JTAI. It did pull back, but I mean, it's just, it curled through going down. Yeah, I'll have to look at this one because it was looking better the other day, and it's just sitting right there. That LILM, that Germany aerospace and defense, that one I think might have been bottomed out yesterday. So just keep an eye on that for any dips and some good action on that because that'll be bouncing around. And let's just look over here real quick, see if anything else crazy is going on. EVGN going down, Playboy up. I don't know what that is. Boom, boom, boom. Nothing real crazy there. Nothing grabbed my eye. That's going down. PALI, that's dipping down. MTNB, that's in the basement right there. That could be a bouncer, MTNB. And then we look at this one. I don't know. But this one, keep an eye on MTNB. That could bounce in the morning. That could actually be a little bounce play. Let me just take a look over here. Not a whole lot happening. Oh, that root. We looked at that last night. We'll go through the stock twits, see what's happening over there. And yeah, just not a whole lot happening. So let me look at the messages, see if I missed anything. Let's see. AMIX for Jennifer Lee. Let's look at that bad boy. Up 407, down a little bit in the after hours, curled up there. What was it? AMIX. I remember we looked at this not long ago. And it looks pretty strong on mine. It ran up to what, 22.19 from 10.58. The other day on the 28th, it opened at 7.70 and got up to 21.49. And today got even higher. It doesn't look too bad. And I'm guessing that that's in the after hours because the FinViz is saying it's at 13.55 and mine's saying $15. So it did run up pretty good right there. And you're gonna have to be careful, obviously, a momentum play in the morning if it can keep moving. So that is AMIX. And let me just take a quick look over here and see. And I'll write that down, look at it in the morning for you, Jennifer Lee. And AMIX, we'll see if it can do anything. And let me just see real quick what's going on in here. Intel, Apple's down, Intel is up, Amazon is up, or ARDX. I meant to write that down. I did see it on here. I traded this one before, I know that. And it is setting up pretty bullish. So keep your eye on that ARDX. That one could get popping right there. So that one looks good. It ran up from 6 to 680 today and its low is 560 and it closed at 608. So yeah, ARDX, keep your eye on that one. That could be a mover tomorrow right there. Um AVXL, let's see what that's all about. AVXL. AVXL, let's see, up 91 cents. That one popped up today. I don't that could be a little momentum play in the morning if it gets up into the top. And the rest of them bad boys are down. Anything else? What's NCI up to? That's looking pretty good, guys. Check out that NCI. We looked at that before. That's looking nice. Oh yeah, NCI is looking really good for tomorrow. So keep your eye on that one as well. We looked at that S dot CDIO CNEY. That one looks really good. I don't know if we looked at that today, but that one was looking good. So add that to the list if we didn't have it on tonight. I think I meant to put it on there and I didn't because it's starting to set up right there. CNEY. So yeah, keep that there. Let me see what else I see. Anything else? We went through that. We went through that, all that good stuff. SYRS we looked at. What was that looking like? I forget. I know they had their earnings today, and I thought it looked pretty decent, right? 257, and it's just kind of flat, and who the heck knows what it wants to do. So there you go. I would say that's a pretty good market review. And ALTX, you got it. ALTX. Let's see. Oh, what did I type in? ATLX. That's why. Telling my eyes are bad today. I don't know what's going on. ATLX, Atlas Lithium. Um, that one looks like it might be pulling back. I think that topped out the other day on the 29th at your 1189 right there. I'm not saying it can't pull back and go back up, but ATLX looks like it's gonna be pulling back there tomorrow. So just be careful with that one for sure. And let's just see real quick, a couple of these other ones real quick. APTO, we'll look at these couple real fast. APTO, let's take a look. That one's setting up to try to bounce back up. Let me see it on mine. Yeah, that one could bounce up. APTO, BTTR was like a Better Home or something. I forget. Better Choice Company, something like that. And this one is just flat, but in a good spot right there. BTTR. It looks pretty decent to try to. I'll have to look at that tomorrow. ERNA, didn't that move yesterday? Or 2 days ago it was moving, and today, of course, 109 and 109 is what it had to open and close at. And I have no idea what that wants to do tomorrow. That's a crazy look right there. And SYBX, let's see. It's kind of pulling back. I mean, it ran up today 141 to 155, and then it closed at 144. It's not looking bad, but I can't really get a good idea. SYBX. Yeah, I can't really tell what the heck it wants to do tomorrow, unfortunately. And let's look at SYRA. They just had their earnings and they were good. It ran up and then it pulled back. I could see this one trying to bounce back up relatively soon. So keep an eye on SYRA and VR. VRAR, Glimpse Group, and this one's actually looking good right there. VRAR. Yeah, take a look at that one tomorrow, guys. VRAR, that one's looking really nice to try to move. So yeah, that one's looking decent to try to get cruising tomorrow. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed that and that helped out everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Laptop Travel, RD, Elena, Tommy, Energies Everywhere, Sherry, Bong, Pre-Chan, and also who else? Pepe, Scheider, Eileen G, O'Hare's Bastard Child, um, Khaled, QM, Scott, Jennifer Lee. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and hanging out, sending in some great stock tickers. And again, the market was a little bloody on Halloween. I hope you've had a great Halloween. And I think we're going to see some bouncing back. So we'll be here at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. You know that. We'll do our Jolie's jumpers, our laptop lowdowns, our crypto, and our Mag 7 and our SPY and everything else that you guys want to see. We'll blast through it and see how Friday is going to look. And more importantly, what could possibly look like going into next week because next Tuesday is the election in a couple days. So we'll see what's happening, and I would like to see these bad boys bouncing today. There was no reason really for them to dip down on them earnings. Most of them did great, and it was just kind of crazy. So we will be looking at it in the morning, and I will be updating everything. So there you go, and have a great night, everybody, and I'll catch you guys at 7 a.m. and